tell you right now. I tell you right now. I tell you right goddamn now. It looked like a good fight. But ain't gonna be no goddamn fight. Ain't gonna be no damn fight. First of all, the fight ain't gonna happen. Just one. And second of all, Shakur not ready. Shakur not ready, boo-boo. Shakur is not ready. Shakur is not ready just yet. Shakur is not ready just yet, brother. He needs some time. He needs some milk and some time. It's not, because what's the end game, right? What's the end game? He ain't got no way to put Gervonta away. He ain't got no way to put Gervonta away. If it's a 10-round fight, oh, he's not gonna be able to stay clean for 10 rounds, you know, let alone 12. If we get to 9 rounds and Gervonta ain't finished him, now if it's gonna be a classic points battle, points versus somebody who has the nuclear option. Can you point him all the way to the end? I don't think it can happen. I don't think it's a possibility. I don't see the possibility. Shakur is very, very sharp. He's very sharp. He's very sharp. He's the Black Lomachenko. He can strike you and strike you and strike you and strike you and strike you. I think another at least five fights under his belt. Because mind you, to fight Tank, he would have to move up a weight class. He'd have to move up a weight class. We're looking at 18-0. Tank like 27-0, 28-0. I don't see it. It seems like a good fight on paper, but when you think about how he has to move up to get to Tank, one, and then two, the fact that Tank has a real nuclear option. When I say he has a real nuclear option, not like Deontay Wilder has a nuclear option. I mean, Tank can actually use his feet. Tank's defensive footwork is so underrated. So underrated. He's not going to get credit for that. And that's a double-edged sword, his footwork, because it also gets him in there fast enough to strike you where he wants to strike you too. So, and when he strikes with everything. So, I mean, I don't see Shakur surviving that for 10 rounds, let alone 12. On the cards, on the paper, Rolly was beating Tank all the way, not by a lot, but still he was beating Tank. And then what happened? Okay? That ain't what I came to talk about. I came to talk about something else. Can we debate and not argue? I'm gonna shout out my boy, you'll see his name on there. Only reason I'm gonna keep his name on there because I know he also makes beats. He's a great producer. And if you need his services, you'll be able to know where to find them. Now I'm gonna talk about this on my own pace. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about it at my own pace. We finna get a blunt roll and shit like that. Talk about this at my own pace, but it's something, you know, with social media. I'm never the one to blame social media. I'm never the one to blame social media. Social media is just the evolution of conversation. That's what social media is in general. Because at one point, social media, all it was talking on the phone. You feel me? Social media is how things get around, no matter what it is. Social media at one point was just talking on the phone, just text messages, and then it was, you know, sending pictures and memes. Remember when memes was just text messages? Put random shit and random jokes, random riddles, and I remember some of the best ones was put this in somebody's Walmart cart, or put this in somebody's Walmart cart, finish the challenge, type shit like that. Those are all memes. It's all social media stuff. Those were memes. I just called to say fuck you. We all got that. We all got that in our flip phones. We all somebody that loved us sent us that. I just called to say fuck you. We all got that shit. But now I say social media the way that we have it now is the evolution. It's the evolution of communication in general. Because at some point we thought we'd be able to read each other's minds. This is pretty close. If you look at our last president, we literally got everything that was on his mind from Twitter. Everything that was on his mind. In fact, when they raided the Capitol on his command, when they raided the Capitol, they was reading his tweets off the phone through a megaphone. That's how powerful that is. So we're only in the stages prior to being able to read each other's thoughts. Like, not saying we're gonna be telepaths or something like that, but that's the thing. You never know what the next form of communication is gonna be. You never know. I mean, sidekicks was a whole thing. They thought they had to make a whole. They actually thought they had to make a whole new device just to text message. Look how short that shit lasted. That shit didn't last at all. Sidekicks. It didn't last at all. Man, we can put this shit in the same cell phone that we selling them. They're not gonna go for us buying for buying two different. No, hell no. This is out the window. Gone. So I'm not one for blaming social media. Oh, this ruined relationships. No. You was toxic before social media came. If you was a cheating bastard, you was a cheating bastard. You just got a new tool to do it. It had nothing to do with your characteristics. It didn't ruin your characteristics, nothing like that. It's just you got a new tool. And I just say that to say that social media has curbed, maybe not in a good way, definitely not in a good way in most parts, has curbed the way we interact with one another. We can't even freaking have a conversation no more. We can't even have a debate. I'm a debate person. That's what I do. I debate. This is what we do. That's what I do. I acquire information. I challenge that information. I acquire information. I challenge the information. Acquire information. Challenge the information. How do you challenge information? That's one thing we weren't taught. We were not taught how to discern and decipher information, how to pick it apart and understand what's logical and what's not, what's true, what's not, you know what I mean? Well, the whole endeavor is to find out what's true and what's not. But a lot of time these days, especially with the whole, shit, it started with the Obama presidency, let alone the Trump. The Trump one just let it, because social media had advanced at that time. As well, our communication had advanced at that time. So it would have been just as bad during the Obama era except the main thing, the driving factor wouldn't have been tweets from Obama. It would have been tweets from everybody else that disagrees with Obama, that type of thing. So I'm gonna put this up here right quick so you can kind of see where we're going with this. Like I said, shout out to my brother. My boy handled this properly. He handled this properly, but my thing is the way it started didn't have to start like that. Because number one, you were not 100% accurate in what you stated. You know what I'm saying? And when I challenged it, I didn't challenge it disrespectfully. Negatively, yeah, of course it's negative because it's a contrary argument, it's a contrary interrogative statement, whatever you want to say. But I definitely didn't come at you any type of way. And I'm using this as an example how it should be handled when you realize it was wrong. Now I can get an apology. But you know what I'm saying, I'll let you judge that after we finish everything else. Like I said, I'm gonna go my own pace, so we finna get this blunt rolled up, man. I'm gonna soak that in for a second. Soak that in. I roll one of these other trash ass reloads, though. And these free ass reloads I found on the road, man. Walk to the gas station, cause that bitch 2 blocks away. That whole 2 blocks away. Yeah, I got a car. My shit work. That whole fine, but gas is $5. I'm not cranking that bitch up to go two blocks. And the price at that gas station high in the motherfucker too. I don't say high in the motherfucker, but a few dollars more, like they know that you debating on cranking up that car. Like, nah, I ain't gonna crank that bitch up. I just pay extra $1 for the bruise. Fuck the bullshit. Anyways. Anyway, we always so hostile. Why you gotta be so hostile? You know what you're talking about. Ain't no need to be hostile. You know what I'm saying? And again, shout out to my boy, because he did this right. He did this properly. He did this properly in the end. In the end, all in all, this was done properly. But the thing is, like, I'm super duper an advocate of jump on the internet, learn it. Jump on the internet. There's plenty of information on the internet. Plenty of information on the internet. So much information on the internet, bruh. There's so much information on the internet. Pretty much all the right answers are on the internet. Let me say that again. Pretty much all the right answers are on the internet. The thing is, though, there's more wrong answers on the internet than right ones. What we were not taught is how to break down information and decipher what could be true, what could be not, logically and objectively. What we're taught here in America, and when I say what we are taught, I mean Americans, we're taught to study the answers, memorize the answers. When the test comes, you know the answers. But what if there's a problem that doesn't have an answer necessarily? All the answers are subjective. We're not taught necessarily to do that type of math. That's life. That's life math. When 2 plus 2 equals 4.1, 2 plus 2 equals 3.9, and you can't get it to equal 4. You just can't. Well, what do you do then? Is 3.9 better or is 4.1 better? Which one is more accurate? That depends on context. If you're playing The Price is Right, 3.9 is better than 4.1. Because on The Price is Right, if you go over, you lose. Right? It just depends, you know what I mean? And this analogy, you know what I mean, for whatever we can go at, but we don't have to be so adverse. One thing is, when you do find out about the internet, this wonderful, glorious tool called the internet, and you figure out how to really use it, like you go beyond the point of just understanding that you don't have to just Google stuff. There's Bing, there's Yahoo, there's plenty of other things. Like, you know what I'm saying? You understand that Google is just a search engine for the entire internet. You learn, oh, YouTube's got this stuff, YouTube's got this, Google's got this, such and such. I can find this and this and this and this. I can find this book. I can find this audio book. I don't even have to read the book. When you find this stuff out and you look around and you realize everybody else isn't using this, like they're walking around without using this to their advantage, you'll realize it in so many other ways than just gaining, abstract knowledge or just random knowledge that you're interested in. You'll find out, like for instance, I was getting groceries delivered to my house long before COVID. I was already on that shit. Getting groceries delivered to my house. Everybody else figured this out during COVID, like the rest of the populace. That's what I mean by using the internet to your advantage. Of course, everything you see on the internet is not true, but it only sharpens your mind to understanding even more so what is true. Again, if you can understand the endeavor of deciphering good information from bad information. That's not always just flat out bad. In this case right here that we talking about, my man stated the first African American to integrate a school in the South is alive at only 67. At only 67. Okay, well, that throws up a red flag to me instantly, because I know for a fact that my grandmother graduated from high school a year before the high school was integrated. My grandma is over 70 years old. So I'm like, if he's saying that the first African American to integrate a school in the South is alive at only 67. Well, Douglas School, anybody, shout out if you know from Cleveland, Texas, Precinct 20, you know what Douglas High School is. We use that for little dribblers, you know, kids who want to start playing basketball and stuff like that, and other alumni events and stuff like that. So that we don't have to go through, you know, the school, you know, the city and stuff like that necessarily. It's a little more black, you know, owned and stuff. Actually, the other half of it is actually a black owned church. So with that being said, I know for an absolute fact that my grandmother graduated from that high school a year before they integrated, and my grandmother's over 70 years old. So how could it be true that the first African American to integrate a school in the South is still alive at only 67? My grandmother's older than that. She's over 70. So it's more than 3 years. So I'm coming at bro based off of really that. And all I said is, what? I don't know about that one. With the laughing emoji, you know what I'm saying? With the little ha-ha sweat laugh emoji, you feel me? I don't know about that. I didn't say you was stupid. I didn't say, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? I said, what? Exclamation point, question mark. I don't know about that one. Because I don't. Either you lying or my grandma lying, but I've already looked at what my grandma said years ago. You know what I'm saying? I've already had corroborations on that story more than once. So I didn't even have to Google none of this shit. I just know that that statement is not true as written. So then my next question is, because what I'm, instead of just telling them what I know, I'm trying to get out of him the details. With who said this, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times as black people, we are poised and ready to believe we was the first to do this, first to do that, whatever the case may be. So man, they believe, man, they trying to, you know, whatever. Because so much is lied about when it comes to our history. So much of this shit is lied about. So we only logic to be skeptical against. You know what I'm saying? Something that seems like it's keeping the black person down. I get you. I don't disagree with the overall sentiment. I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that racism is so close to us that the first person to integrate a school is only 67 years old. You got grandmothers older than that. You feel me? That's what he's trying to say. And that sentiment is 100% right. We should be way past this shit. We should be way past it. But due to negligence and people acting like it don't exist, we're not gonna go anywhere necessarily. And the only reason I'm making this a point And I guess you will see in my, because when I respond to my brother, I respond very accurately, respond to with something that I feel, not something that I know and feel. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt it, and I know this is to be true. So if I tell you right now, it's gonna be exactly what I said in the response, because that's how I feel. It's what I know to be true. So to move on. He said he told me crazy what a simple Google search can do for you, for ignorance, with the clown emoji. Like that's too far. Like that's basically calling me dumb. Like I'm an idiot. Like right. That's what for those of you who don't know what the clown emoji means. That means the person is basically calling you a complete buffoon, a complete idiot for what you just said, for what you think. When somebody puts a clown emoji when they rebuttal to you, they're calling you a clown. So initially, what he think I'm doing is trying to debate his overall sentiment that racism isn't that far behind us. Or that he's saying that racism isn't that far behind us. He think I'm trying to say that this shit long gone, and that's not true. That the girl is only 67 years old. I know she only 67 years old, whatever you talking about, but that's not true. What you stated. First African American to integrate a school in the South, only 67 years old. My grandma older than that, and I know for a fact she came from a school. If that baby integrated the school that my grandma was from, she would be older than 67, or else she integrated the school when she was a baby, when she was an infant. That doesn't make any sense now, does it? Now, does it? So this is what I know. I know enough to come at him sideways. I know enough to come at him sideways. But I'm trying to debate, not argue. You feel me? I can come in, well, that's emphatically wrong. You're stupid. I don't know why the fuck you would state some shit that's blatantly wrong. You feel me? Blatantly wrong. I could have came in hot like that, but I already knew where it was gonna go. I kind of knew who I'm messing with. I know my boy ain't just, he ain't no crazy motherfucker. He heard this. He probably heard it just as stated from a trusted source. He probably heard it just as stated from a trusted source. Been watching that source for years or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So and his first thought is, who am I to question whoever it is? His source. You know what I'm saying? The source that he's trusted. Like I said, I agree with the overall sentiment, but that's not what it is. So let's go on. Wow. Can't just have a conversation. My grandmother is over 70 and graduated from the high school in my hood a year before integration. Meaning my grandmother, the schools was about to be integrated. My grandmother graduated a year early. She graduated a year early from high school. And she always talk shit. And I'm glad I did too. We had to go to school. I saw my grandma used to try to act racist, but she used to have so many white friends and shit. She just, you know what I'm saying, just certain disdain for what had happened to her in certain places and shit like that. Or just knowing how people act, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors, that type of shit. But she had white friends. She never talked shit about Miss Dotson. She never talked shit about, you know what I'm saying, her friends, you know what I'm saying. But she was always about that shit, but goodness gracious. Like I said, plus the way you stated it isn't clear. If one African American was responsible for the first integration, you should have named them in your post. Simple Google search. You're hostile. I mean, you throw the clown emoji at me, that's hostile. And then the sarcasm of crazy what a simple Google search can do, like that's not how you debate. That's not how you have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else be hostile to you before you go there. You feel me? Let somebody else go there before you go there, especially if you're the one coming onto the platform saying you have this information, right? This information needs to be sound, especially when you're talking about us. And mind you, not know anybody questioned them on this information. It's a us that question you on this information. It's me, brother. Hold on. Like, you ain't got to go to the clown emojis. You ain't got to go there. You ain't got to amazing, what a Google search. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do that, right? Let's do that. Like I said, it's all love because he handled it right in the end. Ruby Bridges. I knew he was going to say Ruby Bridges. Like I said, I already knew I could have came at this nigga sideways from the get-go because I already knew. Like I said, my grandma already told me one thing. I've been looking that shit up for years since she told me. She told me that back when I was in school, when I was in like junior high. So I already heard of Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges was an elementary school kid. So let's move on. Ruby integrated the first elementary school. High schools were being integrated 3 years prior to that, my brother. It's okay to have a conversation. Because it is. It's okay to have a conversation. If you come correct. See, if you come, okay, so let's go to the end, cause I'm gonna hit the nigga with the receipts, the tickets. At the tender age of 6, Ruby Bridges advanced the cause of civil rights in November 1960 when she became the first African American student to integrate an elementary school in the South. Simple Google search, my brother. I'm going so you can read it. The first institutions to integrate will be the high schools beginning in September 1957. Among these was Little Rock Central High School, Little Rock, Arkansas, which is, I believe, in the South, I would believe, which opened in 1927 and was originally called Little Rock Senior High School. So, like I said, he liked what I said, literally liked it. Duly noted. Should have stated elementary school to clear up any confusion. But you could have stated that. But you could have stated that when you was calling me a clown, though, right? Right? As humans, we have a knack to want to be right. We have a knack to want to be in the upper position when we think you know something. And that's what the internet can do to you when you figure out how to use it and you realize everybody else in this world, like literally the majority of people in this world, don't know how to fucking look some shit up and don't know how to receive the information after they look it up. Meaning judge the source, weigh the source, look up the source. You know what I'm saying? And if you agree with the source in this situation, still legitimize what it is they are saying to a T if you're going to repeat it. There's a lot of things there. First African American, that's one thing. To integrate, that's another thing. Schools, what kind of school? In the South. Not just all of America, in the South. That's 4 different things to unpack that have to be extremely accurate for that simple statement to be true. Now moving on, let's wrap this up. Now moving on. This is the whole point right here. This is the entire point of why I'm on this dude's case. It's love. It's nothing but love. Accuracy matters, and I'm not on your case because I disagree with your overall sentiment. This racism shit should be multiple generations behind us, but it's not. So we have to deal with the reality, the facts and reality we live in. But I say that because when we talk to truly ignorant people, because, you know, he said, I need to Google something for my ignorance or whatever, when at the end of the day, I proved what I was saying was more accurate. But when we're talking to truly ignorant people, they will find any way to pick our debate apart. And if they catch us on something little like that, it's hard to follow up. Iron sharpens iron, all love. And what I'm saying is, if a troll, if it's one of these ignorant, overt, racist people can catch you on something like that, she wasn't the first. No, she wasn't the first to integrate schools. No, that's stupid. See, you don't even know what the fuck you talking about. Ha. And then the rest of they people laughing. Ha, and they looking it up on their Google. Ha, you stupid. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. You can't even say shit else. It's hard to follow that shit up. So when you, cause they trying to pick apart the shit that you have together already, wholeheartedly, that you know for a fact is right. They trying to pick apart that shit too. And that shit is not easily picked apart. But when you have something in your argument, your debate that is not 100%, That's the only thing an ignorant motherfucker need to end the conversation. We're not in a position to do that. We're not in that position. We have to be 100% correct. And people on the other side don't even have to be 50% correct. Don't even have to be 50% correct. What was that story I seen? There was a sheriff outside of his jurisdiction in another town with his wife, who was his deputy. Yes, his deputy. They was in the gas station with another black male. The black male was with his family, and the black male was on the same aisle as the white female deputy. And he bent over to grab something. I guess he was looking down. He bent over to get something. He did something. He was looking down when it happened. But he brushed up against her. And her recount of the story is that he groped her. He sexually harassed her. Dude wasn't even looking at her, didn't even know she was there. Everybody on the scene, while the sheriff went to arrest this man and his wife deputy helped, everybody was saying no groping happened. When the actual jurisdiction cops got there, saw the surveillance tape on scene, saw no groping, this man still got taken to jail and charged. He has to fight those charges. So the other side, the opposition, doesn't have to be 100% right. We have to be 100% right. We have to be 100% right. Okay? We can't have little chinks in our armor like this. When we talking our information, study it, look it up again, corroborate, and then you post. Because it's all they looking for. This is all they're looking for. It's not no hate speech. It's nothing like that. I'm just saying, for equality to exist, we're gonna have to be accurate. Because they don't care if it exists or not. Only we care if it exists. So we have to be accurate when we're providing our points. When we're making our points, we have to be accurate. We have to be learned, and we have to be studied. It's the only point. Was not trying to argue. Was not trying to go any further than need to be. You know what I'm saying? I didn't insult my brother at one time. Did not insult him at all. Did not insult him. So, mind you, when you're having a conversation, don't get hostile before somebody else gets hostile. Just provide the information. You're never gonna get anybody on their side by insulting them. You might as well not say anything to them. If you're trying to prove a point, you will not ever prove your point by insulting the opposition, insulting their intelligence, even by outright disagreeing with them. You have to agree somewhat for them to even listen to your next statement. It's a psychology thing. Okay? I'm going to leave it right there for now. Shout out to my boy. Like I said, you can holler at both of us for any type of music work. The dude does great work. He's still my boy. He handled this perfectly. Well, I won't say perfectly because I could still get an apology. He still, you know what I'm saying, he liked everything I said and came off at the end, you know what I'm saying, maybe, you know, duly noted, should have stayed elementary. Still seemed like he kind of covered up some tracks, you know what I'm saying, instead of just saying I was wrong, whatever the case may be. But whatever, I can't say that's not what he meant, you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. All I'm saying is we have to be 100% when we say it, when we post it, when we state it. Every single time. We don't get the luxury of being halfway right or anything like that. You know that. They're looking for anything. So that's all I got, man. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Music TV, it's your boy. Encephalon Don TV, baby.